What's up, guys? It's your boy Luke Owens, aka Lokoe, and welcome to part 3 of my amazing adventures in Lokoe Town. And we've been to the left, we've been to the right, and now we're gonna kind of aim our direction kind of in the middle so we can see the central area and all of that stuff. Let's get into it. So we're walking past Jirachi's home, the sunny day site, which we used in part 1 or part 2 to make it raining. Punch Electro because it's ugly, and walk past Munchlax's home, which is behind these trees. If you saw for a second there. And here is Zapdos's area, which is part of this central area. You can see there's also Vaporeon's habitat, if you see over here, which I created in the middle of the ocean because I thought it'd be cool. There's a staircase you can go up. It's got a golden Magikarp statue, it's got like floaty, it's got all that stuff. The alarm clock. It does. If you turn on, it makes a bunch of noise. And you can see we put sprinklers here, and we are you can see how I've created this whole thing, and it's really cool. There's a boat over here. Under here, you can see there's poles that I put to structure the area. And this is actually by the farm that we saw in part 2, which is just over there with the beans, the tomato, the potato, and the corn, aka wheat. You can see how small it is compared to this big like river, sea, ocean part. There's also all this stuff. There's also this tidal bell over here that you can get Lugia come. If Lugia flying over, we're going to use honey. There's going up the stairs. Vaporeon, there he is. One of the best evolutions in my opinion. And it's got the water float. And over there, there's the Espeon, Sylveon's habitat. Also, evolutions are separated them into different areas, so they wouldn't argue over the food because they're all greedy. You can see over here, there's just a plain open field. You know what we do with plain open fields? We build either houses there, cool structures. There's Jolteon's home that we saw in part 2, and there is the mountain of Moltres, which we also saw in part 2. There's Rowlet's tree house habitat thingy. That is really cool. And up here is probably one of my favorite things that I've ever built, like ever. You can see it up here. There's fans hanging from the bottom. I used them so it looks like propellers. This from the last event is Jirachi's home. There's Jirachi sleeping on the bed. It made Stardust and it's just sitting there. How just it's so cute. Like, it's a star baby. We're gonna give you a leopard berry. The berry's literally bigger than your head. I don't know how you're gonna finish this. So, and this habitat is the Star Jirachi lamp, the Star Jirachi table, the Star Jirachi bed, the Star Jirachi Jirachi cupboard, and the light has to be electrified. You can see there's a Star Jirachi cannon that we do not have any cannibals, so we cannot load it right now. Guys, I've been having allergies. It's just really annoying. You can see there's a telescope that is looking down on Zapdos because Jirachi is more superior than Zapdos. No offense, Zapdos. You can see there's a little swamp area over there with like a bunch of messy Pokemon. And there's Zapdos' domain factory little thingy. You can also see down here, back where we started, Vaporeon's home over there. There's a lift leading from here to here. And it's just, there's a lift leading from here to up there, which we visited before, where this takes us to the farm, which is part 2. And now we're looking at this factory thingy, and here is where Zapdos lives. With all this, there's cardboard boxes. Zapdos likes playing with his boxes. Yeah, toys. You can see here's Zapdos' home. It says it right here, and it's so much aura, just like sitting in there. We're gonna use some honey, and he's just sitting there, you know. And there's he is with his long-looking, ugly nose. That nose maybe longer than my arm. And while his little factory area is kind of cool, you can see there's a chain that you can climb. Spider-Man, does whatever that. I put the chain here so you can climb up. Lokoe Man, does whatever Lokoe can. Can he swing from a web? Yes, he can. He's the Lokoe Man. Look out! And there's Moltres' home that we visited in part 2. There's Vaporeon's home, which we also visited. You can see over here. Oh, I have terrible allergies, guys. Make sure you subscribe to help me feel better with my allergies. You can see over here, there's a little forest, there's a doll area. You can build houses. There's RT Kuno's little area. And you can see over here, past down this factory thingy, there's a mossy rust spot. And here, like we saw in the telescope up in Jirachi's area, we see this swamp. And it has like a bunch of messy Pokemon. Swalot, who swallows, like... Now I'm going to show you where this messy water comes from. I think it will disturb you guys. Well, and look, it's coming from the toilets. Because the toilets are nasty. No, Gudra had a very spicy leopard berry earlier and did a massive dunk. Quite disturbing, isn't it? You can see all this stuff. There's a concrete mixer which turns into brown concrete. Whoa. I built this swamp because I thought all these messy Pokemon don't like being clean. There's trash everywhere, sandbags. We're going to use honey to make Swalot appear. You saw that, right? He just comes out of nowhere. What a nice one. You want to stay here forever. He is also doubles as a storage box. I want to see my storage. There's fossils in there, a bunch of stuff. I just shoved things in his mouth. That looks crazy. The image in your head. Swalot is actually bigger than Gulpin. Gulpin can also do this. You can see over here, there's Longzire's home, and we're also going to use honey because I like Longzire. Not, in my opinion, it's not better than, or whatever Wooper's evolution's called. primer and wheezing, just like how I'm wheezing, but I'm not. You can see here, there's Buck's home. There's a mysterious, very mysterious slate in there. And you can see Buck just sitting behind me because you know they always sneak up on me. I don't like it, but they always do it. I think I'm like a toy to play with. You can see over here, there's Travish's habitat. And because it's so messy, I put all the like disgusting, nasty Pokemon here that even live on Pokemon area. Travis is struggling to get up because he's short. And yeah, I wish he could be tall like, I don't know, LeBron James. You can see here's the swamp area with Muck, Grandma, wheezing, coughing. You can see all of this. We've just been, this area we've just been in with all of this, how we've just how I created it. And it's got, you can see, it's really cool. I'm really proud of how I made this, and all that stuff is just like how, like, it takes a long time to construct this stuff, and I do it all for you guys, my subscribers. So if you want more of these beautiful builds, please subscribe and like the video. Travis finally made it up after being super short. Now he's fallen in the water. Travis, you can't swim. Your mouth's below the water. I don't know how you're surviving right now. Or you could just do that. And Travis is going to sleep because he's a tired man. Probably was wrestling with Garbodor. That's what they like to do. And you can see the swamp area we just finished. And here we've been. Here is where Wingo was before, but here is Amora. Yeah, what, you get the thing. And here's the lake we actually saw before. And this time we're actually going to go to the center, and we're going to very slowly run up to Cramorant's home was in the middle. I put them in the middle because it's kind of the odd one out. You know, like he just looks weird. You can see over there. There's also Dratini with the hydrated flower bed, and he's just kind of like there. Cramorant's just Dratini's home, the habitat of flowers. Dratini's a dragon type, not a water type. I don't know why he's a water, but you know. Hobbit's home we showed you before, and there's also this part that we showed you in part 1, I'm pretty sure. And over here you can see the cave I've been talking about. Here is, you may think it's somewhere like really cool. Nah, it's Ludicolo. You can see how I made the floor out of wood and the walls out of like mossy mud, like wet leaf stuff. It's just, you know. You can see there's also a boat there, Dragonair's habitat. This is Dragonair, where Dragonair lives. We saw Dragonair in part 1 in a little area. You can see the lift that just leads you to the other side of this river. You can just, it also doubles as a diving board. You can step off and you just, it's pretty cool, really. Oh, and it's 100% dive, 10 out of 10 dive, my logo. Now coming out of the mattress, up the stairs. see over here, there's this little kitchen area that Wow lives here. You can also see this is kind of just a chill out area for most of the Pokemon. Here's a shower. You can just wash yourself, like washing in the water, washing in the water. And here's like a little mud bath or whatever. And that's like where you lie down and chill out in the mud. Here's a hot tub, which I created to create a little chill area for the Pokemon, and they just lie down and just chill. Here's an ice bath, which I also created. It's got like ice floats and shaved ice for them, for most of the Pokemon to eat. You can see here there's a Snorlax bed, and over here there's a bread oven. This is like a little kitchen area. There's a fridge that you can put things in. I put a dry tomato plant and a dry wheat plant. I thought maybe they'd get rehydrated. It's been like a year. They have not been rehydrated. Here is a little area with like pots and pans and here you can cook with mostly everything. There's tables and you can cook every food here. Salad, soup, bread, steak, more. That's it. That's literally all the food you can cook in here. It's really good stuff. Here is Absol's home, the like resort, chill out, 6-7 habitat. I don't know. Here is another really cool habitat, Toxicity. Put on a rock concert. This is why it's like this right now, because there's still chairs there. And it's really cool. There's a drum. It's really cool how you can punch it and it makes noise. There's another lift leading up to that back area, which we're gonna get on and go through. Also doubles as a diving board, but we're not gonna use it. And finally, we're gonna go onto the central island. This has a bit like building up for a long time, and we're ready to go onto the central island. There's another lift over here that takes us. Let's go. It makes so much noise. When you go up these lifts, you can see Aurora, you can see the mud swamp with all the nasty Pokemon, Jirachi's home, and the factory for Zapdos. And here we are up here. Here's the toilets we showed earlier that lead down to the swamp. All this muggy, disgusting, like green water. And there's a telescope. You can see up there Jirachi. You can see how far in the sky it is. Mark, wheezing, Grimer, coughing, all those Pokemon. Zapdos is having a chat with Grimer after Zapdos tried to eat Grimer. Long story. Gulpin staring at me like a demon. And Swallow is just like those red eyes are so scary. Give me the shivers. Here's a concrete mixer in case I need concrete. And here's a hot spring with a fishing rod. Here's Lumbe's home. Lombre does the lombre where he lombres, you know, like lombre. And basically, here's a poker shop. Usually, there's people selling things in here. Not today, vending machine, solar pop. No, that's like 2025. What am I doing? Okay, back out the shop. We see how small it is compared to the inside. It's actually quite big in the inside. And it's just really crazy. Here is a little, like, small greenhouse area with, like, bean, tomato, potato, wheat, and all that stuff. Potatoes over here. The greenhouse is actually very, very cool. I'm really proud of how I built this. There's another lift leading down, which from near Articuno's area, which you can use the Dragonite glide to get to. Down here, there's a little cave with stained glass windows. This is Umbreon's home. Really dark area, except for that one thing that I decided to make light. There's really dark, and there's a black slide, which is just a normal slide that was turned black. And it's really, really cool how you can just do this. The slide doesn't work because, like, I have to walk down to get down. You should be able to slide. There's all this stuff. There's another grave on how for Jimmy the Feebas, on how Umbreon ate him. Umbreon is still trying to figure out where he went. Umbreon thought it was a giant marshmallow. And Umbreon, there he is. Now we're going up these stairs, back up to this part over here. There's the lift, which we are going to take back up to the lift we saw earlier. You can see how up this lift we're back at the central area, and you can see this little thingy. There's my favorite statue. The greenhouse we just saw. There's Plusle's home, which you can stick your face in, that little thingy there. And I'm a Plusle. There's also Minim. And over here you can see there's another, like, cooking area, like a little kitchen. You can just chill out and cook. There's a hammock and a shower, which you can use. This is Odish's home over here. And here is Tyrogue's house, where Tyrogue lives. And over here there's also another tent. There's two Sableye tents. And over here there is a big campfire for one, and for the other it's just a normal one. And you can see over here there's a little button, and there's also a little Pokeball futuristic home, a Hitmonlee's home with a punching bag, a kicking bag, and a kickboxing remote. Same thing. There's a Snorlax bed. You can see over here, vending machine. We're gonna get milk coffee. That should be like an encore. There's the fossils. There's Tyrantrum. There's Ramados. There's Rorus. And there's Big Boy Dinosaur. We do not have any cannibals, so we cannot load. We have a storage box that was dyed green. Another storage box that was dyed green. we have 2 trophies over here. This one is the jump rope contest, 51 jumps. And over here is hide and seek contest, the record time 21 seconds. You can see over here, here's the lake we've been, the lift that leads to here, and how we got up here. Here is my home, the home I live in. It's got a computer, a little sofa, bed, air conditioning, cake, because I like cake, and a Game Boy. And there's something over there that's really cool that I'm going to show you soon. But other than that, this is part 3. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on our next video. Peace out. Thank you for watching my Lokoe Town video. Don't forget to subscribe. Peace out.